discuss something to do part 1,
Road
part
America. We're talking about Road America, and I was just asking you guys excited for Deadmau5. And then it went off on a tangent because Nikki over here doesn't know Deadmau5 5, so or black or white or
okay,
silver.
Fine. We'll restart, and I will say I know Deadmau5 5. Deadmau5.
Mouse.
God damn it. That
No,
I know
we're keeping this in. You can't recover from this.
No, you're good. Yeah, you got to keep it in.
So back to what Fez is saying. Covering Road America, and then we're covering Mid Ohio. Then next week, future events, and what was the last thing I said? Oh, any rule changes we would like to see clarified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rule changes as a result of this Mid Ohio event.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. So, welcome to Racing Home Podcast. Today, I do not have a joke because I'm tired. But
I was gonna say you sound tired as fuck. You got to get some more energy in here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, welcome to Racing Home Podcast. I don't have a joke today because I'm fucking tired. So,
there we go.
You know, so sucks as fuck. Sucks to suck. So we're just gonna get into it.
Sucks to fuck.
Sucks to just fuck sometimes. You know.
Yeah, sometimes.
What? Anyways, Road America. So, well, we just came back from Mid Ohio. First of all.
Yep. And who do we have on the podcast, Fez?
We have Nick Ageter, first of all, our second person, and then also we have Eddy.
Hello.
Ezekiel from Instagram, with Civic to Cutie Civic Type Bar, the fastest Civic in the country.
Well, let's not go that far.
Civic around Mid Ohio. We can confirm that this past weekend. We have
only podium winner in this group right now.
So, yep, one of 3 podcasters right now made it to the podium.
Right.
Actually, I'm not even technically part of this podcast. I'm just a guest, so.
Yeah. Well, you're the only one that got a podium, man. So
yep. I appreciate it. Thank you. It should have been second, but I won't go into that until next week. So.
Yeah. Well, we're still proud of you. You put a hell of a lap.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I love that track. I absolutely love that track. And yeah, I had a great
How many years have you been tracking there?
My 4th year.
Is your 4th year?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, how did the weekend go for you, Eddy? How did it start and how did it end?
Well, it started off. I mean, the first. I don't want to go through. Do you want me to go through every session? Because
maybe not every session, but
all right. I'll just start off. It started off the first day. The first
Toter
session
was not
horrible.
stuck this time around.
Toter wasn't stuck. That was good. The first day is always, for me, was a little bit more difficult because I was trying to get to grips, no pun intended, with the fucking new surface, right? If anybody doesn't know, Mid Ohio had this really old, or what we thought, crappy surface, shitty surface. So they repaved it over the off season, and we all expected this track to be like this monster of a track, right? Like 2 seconds, 3 seconds faster.
Yeah.
And I think there was time there from the surface, but it wasn't at all where I was expecting it to, where I was expecting to make up the time. So, for anybody that doesn't know Mid Ohio, I think of it as 2 tracks into one, right? This is how I've compartmentalized the track. There's the part A, which is the straights. So I comprise that as 1 through about 7 or 8. And then the part B is the rest of the track, right? Because there's a technical side and then there's the beginning, which is a lot of straights.
What do you mean 1 through 7, 8?
Like the track, like the turns. Turn 1 through turn 8.
Turn 8? No, I disagree on that. I think it's like front straight to turn 4, China Beach. And after from China Beach.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you're right. Turn 6. Let's go with 6.
Well, let's go. Yeah.
To
more
the
like
S's.
4. Turn 4.
I have a track map up now, guys. By the way.
Can I see the number? I don't know the fucking. All right, let me look this.
Yeah, because after turn 4, it's all pretty.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking that they counted 2A and 2B. I don't know why I thought that.
No.
Yeah. So after 4, I would say is the start of the second half of the track.
I agree.
And I was expecting the S's and Thunder Valley, or leading into Thunder Valley, to be a lot more grippy, right? I thought that new surface was going to be a game changer. I would be able to carry more speed through that and therefore make up time. And also in the carousel. But what it actually was, according to my data anyways, it was actually the turns that didn't really get a whole lot of love. 1 and 2 were where I made up a ton of time versus last year, just because of corner exit speed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was actually slower through the S's than I've been in previous years. So,
Interesting.
it was weird for my car anyways.
So 1 was the same pavement as last year. They tested out the
Yes.
patch last year with turn 1. Turn 2 was completely repaved. Turn 2 last year was pretty fucky. Like there was different patches through it, so like the car would understeer and randomly catch grip. Like the tire screeching would also be different, and then you kind of go from there. Now it was kind of even throughout the turn 2, which I actually kind of liked.
Oh, it felt great. I mean, I went
Mhm.
out of there 3 or 4 miles an hour quicker than I ever have.
Mhm.
Usually, or in previous years, I would understeer leaving corner 2 more than I do now, and I would
Mhm.
just smoke the tire. It would just light up the outside tire or inside tire. And so this year I could just get on power really soon, and it held it. So
Mhm.
that was awesome. But the S's, I mean, like I used to be able to go through the S's flat. I did not feel confident enough this past weekend to do that.
Mhm.
Um, but
You would be lifting
overall,
for turn 7 or turn 8?
um, after turn after turn 6, I could stay flat through it.
So
Through
where were you
7,
lifting?
flew 7. I would have to lift after 7 to catch 8 because the back end would rotate a lot more because there wasn't
Okay.
as much grip in the back.
I
So
see.
I didn't feel comfortable going flat through it because I almost got close to it once and the car like just shot out sideways. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that.
Interesting.
So yeah, that between 6, 7, and 8, I used to be able to carry a lot more. Well, not a lot more speed, but more speed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little surprising. And then the carousel as well. I could not get that car to turn in. In previous years, I was able to turn in a little bit better. This year wasn't the case. I had to go really slow and be patient with the car. And that patience kind of ran out on Sunday afternoon. I was kind of just pushing the car too hard, and it just understeered really bad.
Mhm.
So but that was my take of the track. I don't know if you guys had the same thing. I was running into setup issues. Like if I made adjustments for one part of the track, it affected the other part of the track. Um, so like I just started to say, you know what, I got to focus on my own driving. I can't keep focusing on changing suspension setup and I just gave up on that whole situation and just focused on the lines and my own driving and
Mm-hmm.
control with what I know I can do and not worry about things that are just out of my control. So, that definitely helped for sure.
What did you think, Fez?
Largely in agreement with Eddie. I think carousel was better though. My car was understeered through carousel, but I feel like I could get on throttle sooner because last year there was a big bump in carousel, which would potentially upset the car. So that bump not being there anymore allowed you to kind of get on throttle sooner. And at the exit of 13, there's a little bit more grip, so you could just be flat out basically where the 12 mark is on that map if you were watching this. If not around like mid carousel, mid to late carousel, I could be flat out all the way from there till turn 1. But overall, yeah, the grip was confusing, very confusing for me in general because I got there expecting to go like a second and a half, 2 seconds faster. But granted, I also had some previous setup issues that I was dealing with still. And then I found out later that the track with the new surface, they recommended to not run sticker tires. It was slower. The car was hopping. There was a lot of wheel hop. There was a lot of felt like the car was on hockey pucks because of it. But once
Chatter,
the car, I'm sorry, chatter, the tire chatter.
chatter.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of chatter. once the tires got scrubbed in, I think it got faster. And not only that, I made some setup changes throughout the weekend. Like took some angle out of the wing, turned down rebound in the front, adjusted some pressures, and the car was much better. Dropped like 2 seconds from my first session.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you beat your personal?
Yeah, I went faster by 8 tenths.
That's good,
There
dude.
you go.
What about you guys? Or what about you, Eddie?
I've
Oh
never been
yeah,
there.
yeah. 8 tenths as well.
We're always again so neck and neck every single time, Eddie and I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was and there's a 35 in that car for sure. I
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
my car was the biggest struggle that I kept having was turn one. Um,
Mm.
Really. I felt
yeah,
very comfortable about that corner.
Oh, it's
it
really
Surprisingly.
my
slow.
my car would just understeer into
Mm.
turn one a lot more than it used to. And it would just screw up the whole line. But I
Mm,
just stopped focusing on turn one and just focused on other places because I felt even if it understeered, it was still faster than it was last year, which is the case.
yep.
So I just kind of just did the wide angle and rode the curbing as much as humanly possible. So that's
Yeah,
why if you
taking
see
out
my fastest lap, I literally was going so wide because the car just was not turning. And you watch
mm,
me trying to get it to turn and it just wasn't doing it. So
mm.
yeah.
Dang. Yeah,
Yeah,
turn one.
taking the angle
Go
out
on.
of my wing helped me in turn one. Otherwise, it was understeering. Because there were
Okay.
two black patches at turn one that I was told has more grip. And it wasn't until like the last two sessions where I realized that, well, one, I had to take the angle of the wing angle out a little bit, which helped. And I was able to stay on those two patches. And it wasn't until the last two sessions where I was like, okay, well, the closer you are to the curbing, like barely kissing it, the more grip there was. So if you don't get
Yeah.
close to it, you're just gonna understeer off.
Yeah. Yeah. I just could not get that car to turn in the way I wanted it to. And I
Mhm,
have in the previous. So uh yeah. If I had gotten that corner right, that would have been a 35 for sure.
For
mhm,
me, I feel the same as Faz, where the car felt the best whenever I was hitting both black patches, and I would be like kind of kissing the curbing on the inside, and then I would kiss a little bit, and then get on throttle and wash out to the curbing on the outside.
Yeah,
All at
that
like
makes sense.
I think my min speed through there was like 86 miles per hour.
nice.
Might be 83.
Yeah,
It's,
oh yeah, dude, you were hustling through there for sure.
but then turn two felt fine about. Turn three, not a turn. Turn four, my PB lap I felt decent about it. I think I turned in too soon. Turn five, I didn't carry enough speed throughout. Turn six, didn't cut it hard enough. Seven's fine. Eight, I royally fucked up. And I think I easily lost like half a second or maybe a second just in turn eight. Because that was the first time I ever tried to go flat through turn eight. And then I just went way too fast. And so when I tried to turn in for turn nine, I got a significant amount of understeer and tire chatter. And when I went to go on throttle, because I had scrubbed so much speed understeering, I was way too low in the RPM band, had to downshift to third. Normally I would go through turn nine and fourth, but I had to downshift to third and then try to recover the laps through the rest. Turn 10, I cut in too soon, which probably didn't carry enough speed through turn 11. 12 and 13 were fine. I felt like I took carousel just fine. But I think Eddie, you and I, we both have 35s in us. Definitely in our cars.
Well, based on my data, it says I do.
Oh,
Because if you combine all of my sessions, like the best parts of
mm-hmm.
it was like a 35.1. So,
Goddamn. Gotta get that
um,
clean lap together.
yeah, it's more just me. And again, a lot of it, as you both know, luck.
Mhm,
A lot of it's luck. A lot of it's, is it a clean lap? Are the weather conditions perfect? Has the track clean? You know,
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
are you mentally there? A lot of it is just luck. I mean, you can
How much Fireball did you drink Saturday night?
none.
I
Well,
know,
thank
I
you
know
very
you didn't,
much.
but we had another competitor that had a few shots. Not Fez,
Oh wow.
not me.
Yeah, I was like, out of the three of us, I hope it wasn't.
It was none of us. The three of us didn't take. Well, I had like 3 beers Saturday night. That was it.
Yeah, I had 2 beers and I was tired.
Same. It was 3 beers over the course of 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours. Like I started at
Oh,
5 p.m. and
yeah.
drank till midnight and went to sleep. So it was like one
Yeah.
beer every 2 to 3 hours. Barely drinking.
Yeah, I didn't drink anything.
But overall, though,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So great. I think the track pavement was a letdown.
Yes.
It was.
I would
I
I
think-
think we had a high expectations, and we just
Oh, no.
came to
Oh.
what?
I think it's a letdown for those who were expecting more because of the repave. Now, for me,
Mhm.
who had not been there ever, this was my first time. I had no problem with it. I would say
Yeah, that's
only
'cause
in
you
turn 5. What is it? Turn 5 over Madness? Is turn 5 Madness?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So going over Madness, the elevation going back down caught me off guard and how little grip I would have. But I would not say that's not the surface. That's just the car's going downhill, and so I was losing grip there. But that was about it. I actually really enjoyed the track surface, but I was not
Yeah, I was gonna ask
expecting
you.
anything.
Eddie and I have been to this track before, so we kind of had an expectation of what, or a little bit of an expectation of what
Mhm.
to expect, right? Nick, it was your first time ever at Mid Ohio. It was also a bucket list racetrack for you because
Yep.
our friend Ravi has been there a few times. He used to live in Columbus as well.
Mhm.
Um, what are your thoughts? What did you come in with? What was your expectations coming into this racetrack, and how did you leave?
Honestly, I think it met all of my expectations. I expected the elevation to be fun, which it was. I expected turn 2 to turn 4, which is the back straight, to be the second fastest that I'd ever taken my car. I take that back. HMP went pretty quick, but the other one, Coda I hit mid 140s. Here at the end of Mid Ohio, coming to turn 4, I hit 136 according to GPS. I can't remember what I hit at HMP, to be honest, but HMP is a pretty fast front straight. And then the risk, like hearing about China Beach, I always heard about all the crashes and like everybody says don't go off at China Beach, don't go off. And getting up there was like, holy fuck! When you go off at China Beach, you are airborne, landing in the sand pits like a volleyball player trying to catch a ball. Like you can sail. Like seeing videos, cars have gone and sailed a good solid 10, 20 feet. It seems like. So didn't seem fun to go.
Don't break, yeah.
Yeah.
Because turn 4 has a lot of angle. Like,
Correct.
it's kind of an embankment, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of grip there. But at the same time, it is also a ramp to launch you off into the time.
Yeah. So you can either use that. You're right. So you can use that ramp to your advantage and like catch your car if you're washing out a little bit. But if you watch out too much, it is now turned into a, like you said, a ramp into oblivion.
So if your brakes fail coming into
Mhm.
turn 4, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like, what would be the best way to preserve the car if your brakes failed coming into turn 4? I don't have an
You
answer.
just
That's what I'm
take the
asking.
wheel? I don't know. Like,
Ask Mike Calloway. I'm pretty sure he did that this past weekend.
Oh, did he do that on Sunday?
He spun it at like 130.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, it was
The S's were a
crazy
lot of
video.
fun. S's were a lot of fun. I did not expect my car to get so light, or yeah, I did not expect it to go light at turn 7, or like between 7 and 8, because I was taking it at first and third gear, and once I worked up some pace, I started taking it in fourth gear, and even in fourth gear, I'd have a little bit of the revs would jump a little bit going over to turn 7.
Turn 7?
Or like you turn left for turn 7, and then you
You
go
go
over
down
the
the
jump.
hill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's off camber just enough where it unsettles the wheels, the drive wheels.
So let me ask,
Yeah.
did y'all have any I don't even know what to call this terminology. Like, did you feel like the car was going airborne or like losing going to the airborne? Because my revs were literally jumping.
Not over 7, but over 9, I could feel it a little bit. Because
Over 9.
that was my
Interesting.
favorite corner.
Hmm.
Because like if you get it right, your car should feel a little bit light, especially over 9 and 5 and the Madness.
Mm-hmm.
The car feels a little bit light, and then it catches grip as it's going downhill. When you get it right, that feeling is really good. It's literally like a roller coaster to me.
Yeah.
S's, well, I don't. I guess I don't have as much power as you guys have, or I
Maybe
have
your arrow's actually doing a lot of
arrow.
work.
Yeah, so I'm basically flat out from when I get on throttle from 6 all the way till the braking zone for 9.
Interesting. Yeah, I should have taken turn 8 way further to the left. I was hanging way too far right, so I had to brake in order to make the turn or lift a little bit.
Well, you're gonna have to brake. You're gonna have to brake no matter what into 9. You can't go
Yeah,
without
but like
braking
for
there.
turn 8.
It could be a line issue. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I took the
Yeah.
line
So
I took it too far to the right. I should have been more to the left.
yeah. Because if you take 7 too far over to the right, it fucks you up for the entry of 8, and you have to brake to get the car to settle, so you don't go off track.
Yep.
The S's is my favorite part of that track. That's where my car is in its happiest place. And Fez, you were right. It is one of the best feelings getting 7, 8, 9 done correctly, because you can fly over 9, and it's a bit scary because you can't see the corner exit, and the car feels like it just wants to understeer off into the grass. But you get it just right, it'll catch it, and just it's good.
Yeah. I would say for me the scariest corner was turn 11. Coming out of turn 11.
Oh yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
everything out there, turn.
As someone who's crashed there and has gone off this past weekend, yes, I was a little shook over there.
It's very easy to get yourself in trouble there, especially if you think you can take it with just lifting.
Yeah, I did that several times, and there's actually a video of me drifting around turn 11. Ross Lindbergh in the white M3 in street class, Eddy, he was directly behind me, and he sent me his video of like, here's a video of you drifting around, Nick. Like, sweet.
Yeah.
That was not the goal, but yeah, the car got unsettled and stepped out, and I just had to catch it and carry through.
Yeah, turn 11. I think I entered too hot the first time 3 years ago, and I fishtailed because I panicked, and I fishtailed and hit the wall. Very scary place to be. And also not having enough torque either. I don't know. Like, it was definitely, I was not ready as a driver to go that fast through turn 11, and I just sent it. This year, similar situation was happening where I entered too hot, and felt like this time I was understeering. I was understeering off the racetrack, and it was a very split-second decision. I might have been able to save it, but I didn't want to risk it because the risk was crashing. So I went straight off at 85 miles an hour, and I wasn't able to stop until I got back on tarmac at turn 12, towards the pits.
Holy crap! Actually, I'm gonna pull up a. Keep talking. I'm gonna pull up a Google Maps satellite image.
Yeah. So I went off, and I was actually like 3/10 up on my lap times. If I had gotten that lap and I had not gone off, I would have gotten 35.5, which is, I think it would have put me in fifth place or fourth place.
Yeah.
I think fourth. I got fifth this time. But yeah, I went basically straight off all the way till you see that black patch starting.
This one.
Yes, that's where I actually ended up stopping.
You're right. That is literally like midway through carousel.
Yeah, it was scary as shit. It was scary as shit. Definitely PTSD happened, and I definitely broke my splitter. And I broke my crash bar. My splitter broke my crash bar. My crash bar.
So you did confirm that?
Yep, it is the hole for where the splitter mounts to. It like enlarged itself quite a bit. So I have to get a new crash bar as well for Road America.
You can't just put washers?
Dude, it's like ripped. The crash bar is almost ripped
off. Oh, okay. Yeah, the metal has fatigued.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no saving that.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. It was like $200 to get a new one. And my bumper clip also broke up. Not bumper clip. Oh shit, my phone fell.
Bye.
Oh my god.
Bye, Fez.
His phone broke too.
The podcast is going downhill.
Yeah.
So my bumper clip, the fender clip broke. The little plastic piece that's on the fender to clip into bumper, that broke off too. And my tire spats broke. So I'm really grateful for the sponsors that I have. because without them, I would be not, be difficult for me to do this. So, straight spread components, like I reached out to them, they were immediately like, "Hey, are you okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay. We're expediting your splitters delivery. You'll have a splitter for Road America."
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, they're gonna ship me a new splitter. Yeah, like super grateful for that.
I want to give a shout out to Cobb Tuning, even though they currently their products didn't hold up as well as I thought. They are doing everything they can. I had some mechanical issues with the boost coupler again, but they are doing everything they can to give me a new intercooler with a larger bead on it, as well. Trying to get them to also do a longer coupler. They can't. We're still in conversations, but in any case, it is going to be an upgrade intercooler, and I'm going to pick it up from them the week before Red American, take it with me, and get it installed. So
yeah, no
that's
offense to
good.
Cobb Tuning, but the bead that you have on your current
Currently,
intercooler is hysterical.
It's not
it's
even a bead.
no, it's
No.
pretty small. But like previously, I guess like if no one has taken the car pushes as far as I have, then they haven't had a need to do a larger bead. But here I am being
Yeah,
like I'm trying to.
I highly doubt that. I think there are street cars that are pushing much more boost through their.
Mhm.
Yeah, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them have been going for like ETS intercoolers. Was the other one that's pretty popular, Mountoon. I've looked at
Wonder why.
those intercoolers. They have some larger beads. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well, I
in
mean,
any
if it's
case,
just a bead issue, they that's easy to be fixed.
yep, exactly, and that's what
So,
they're gonna do, and I'll take it out to Road America and test it out for them.
Yeah.
So in any case, I'm just fortunate that they are listening to me and like willing to try to fix it. They're not just telling me to fuck off.
hmm
yeah,
So
no,
that I really
they've been very
appreciate.
good.
Hmm. In any case, so speaking of Road
How
America,
was
do we
the
want?
competition for you guys this weekend?
Oh, okay, never mind. We're back to Mid Ohio.
I want
Oh,
to
we're
finish
back
with
in Mid
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay.
How was the competition for you guys? Like how tight was the competition for street?
Luca
Yeah.
is in a different class. He is such a good driver. Holy shit. He is a really good driver, a really set up car. He was 3.5 seconds clear
Mhm.
of basically the rest of the street class. So he did a 32-1, correct, Eddie?
32-2,
Actually,
somewhere
let
around
me just
there. Pull the fucking thing up.
yep, my NOS pedal. Actually, I need to go further back. Oh.
Did they put the points already?
Yeah, they did. So speaking of which, Eddie, you are now in third place. Look at you.
Yay!
You're in third place
Look
for
at
the
that.
season. I'm in fifth place for the season. In the meantime, let me pull up.
Anyways, he went fast, 32-2, 32-1.
Hmm.
Continue.
Anyway,
Continue with that. Oh, get
so second
distracted with the
place.
ADHD.
So second place was a 35.9.
Mhm.
Eddie got a 36.0, and I got a 36.3. So Luca was 3.5 seconds clear of the rest of us.
Mhm.
Just fucking hauling.
The second place person, that's a whole different conversation that we'll have in part 2
Part two,
uh,
yeah.
at the Backseat Driver podcast, and we'll be there to discuss that. Yeah, it seems like Street was also pretty competitive. 32,297 for Luca.
Jesus
Brad
Christ.
Moore with the Cayman, 135,967. Eddy with the front wheel drive record at 136.06. You were off by a tenth of a second, little less than a tenth of a second.
I
That is
know.
insane. Against a Cayman S. Wow. That is
With
potentially nuts.
PDK and
With
Arrow
PDK.
Mhm.
and a
That is
tune.
insane. And a tune. Stock
And
suspension.
Arrow.
He already said error.
Okay, I just want to
Uh,
reiterate that.
It's on stock suspension, but like stock
yeah.
suspension on a Cayman is probably better than like half of the garbage that you can buy on a coilover system for a Civic. So,
Sure.
um,
Sam Bosnian with a 36.8, so about half a second off of Nick.
Yep.
And then it's another tenth off of Firas Ligabel
Yeah, and an
or
M3.
whatever.
Great
And then
guy. Nice
M3.
guy.
and then another 0.05 seconds off for Isaac. Wow, street class is so packed, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, from like third place to all the way
Last.
back to like 10th, it is within 100th of a second each time, 100 to
Yeah.
200th of a second. That is insane.
Yep.
Granted, you guys only had 10 people.
Yeah. Didn't have a whole lot, but nonetheless, it was a really fun competition.
Really fun competition. I was gonna say, if there was one thing I can take from this, and Gridlife, if you're listening, maybe make the rules in favor of I don't know, streetcars.
Yeah. Like,
No?
just okay, let me just scroll down just until here. This would have been an incredible podium fight.
What?
30 with
Yeah.
Brad at the top in the Cayman, Eddy, myself, and the rest of the class. If it chop off Luca, it is an incredible competition and fight for first place. And
This goes
actually,
back to our old conversation of how street class should just be bolt-ons and no arrow.
Yeah.
that's all I got.
It is really funny how one person can totally change the story of street class. Because if you put Luca back in there, your
Mhm.
immediate thing would be like, wow, what the hell happened to everybody else? Right? It's like
Right.
he's in a world of he's in his own little world. And granted, that car is just it's had years of setup, his
Development.
engines, he's dialed in
Mhm.
and he's a great driver.
He is.
So and the car is legal for the class. So I you can't mock him for it, It's
Mhm.
freaking fast. Really fast. I mean, he's more than 10 miles an hour faster than me in the straights, I think.
9 miles per hour faster than me.
Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
So and that adds up real quick when you start adding up each straightaway here. Now is that
Really
3 seconds? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's also just a better driver to a degree. So but that being said, yeah, if you got rid of him and you just pretended that street was all of these cars, I would say most of them. I mean, Cody's car is caged, but it's a stock Civic for the most part, besides cooling stuff and a tune. It's very similar to mine.
Yep.
Mike, I don't know. I don't really know that car. I know it's really fast though. The Integra was pretty much stock. As far as I could
Integra
see.
looked incredibly stock. He probably
Yeah,
he definitely had coilovers, wheels, and tires, obviously. So he probably had a good amount of camber, probably a rear bar, but nonetheless, like it looked completely bolt on. Like it
Yeah,
looked
it
like
was
something you could
bolt-ons.
see on the street.
Absolutely. I don't know who. I don't know what. Sorry, I don't know who. I don't know what Isaac has under the hood of that thing, but it seemed really fast at Midwest Fest. I didn't really see him this
I
past
did. I
weekend.
went and spoke to him after Sunday session, and he's done quite a bit of cooling mods. Like he has his radiator tilted up to get better airflow, which I am incredibly jealous of with my cooling issues. Engine wise, I didn't see a stock bolt-on part on the top of that engine. Like
So okay, so
front
400 plus.
Probably. Like it has a front mount intercooler, intake manifold. I think he's running on 85 as well. So he's done all the bolt-on stuff.
So
I don't
he's
know
done everything he can get. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then you've got Ross, which I think is the real street warrior here. Naturally aspirated
Mhm.
S54. It might
Yep.
make 300 horsepower on a good day, right? No
I think
torque whatsoever.
I think he's wheeling that thing
Oh,
to get
dude,
it up there.
yeah, he's all over the place. Sam, another car. Don't
Mhm.
don't discount that Z. It's really fast.
Yep.
And he's a great driver. And then this dumbass in a Focus.
Yeah, what the fuck is he doing here?
He really needs to just go find another hobby. And then myself.
He would appreciate it financially.
Yeah, I think all of us would.
Yeah, that's true.
And
we
yeah,
got Eddy.
I was very, very happy with the outcome. My
Actually,
car
dude,
is
on podium.
Thank you. My car is really slow. And whenever I get the chance to be on the podium, it means a lot because that means it's my driving to a degree. I'm not saying
Yep.
it's all my driving, but I really like this track. So
The car doesn't
I
drive
did well.
itself. Cars don't drive themselves.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
For your top speed on the back straight, so your speedo's wrong in your video. It's
Way
showing
off.
39.
Way off. According to the GPS on the Garmin, it says 136, but
Okay.
I'm not so sure.
Oh shit, my engine
I
might
could
be down on power then, because
I
my
could check.
GPS also showed 136.
I could check, dude. I was getting such a good cook out of 2. It may have just been my line or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you were much faster than me at a 1. After the turn, your car
That's
just
fair.
hustles out of there. So
That's fair.
I don't think. I think it may have just been my driving out of 2.
I never mentioned what happened to me in the first session, by the way.
Oh yeah. Why don't you quickly put that in there?
Yeah, so the first session we were going out and kind of doing the session number 1 shuffle, where they kind of just throw everyone in any class in any car, kind of wherever at the field. Like, we're all kind of at different speed disparities, but you use that first 2 sessions to get yourself figured out. Well, so I was following the yellow Cayman coming out of the last corner onto the front straight, and there was a Corvette in front of him that was being kind of slow, to be honest. Like, the Corvette should be much faster, but he was not taking any proper lines. So the Cayman kind of pulled a GLTC move and took the inside line, and just, there's no point. The Corvette never gave a point by it, so he just went for it. I wanted to get around the Corvette as well so I could put down a flyer and get myself properly placed on the grid. Well, when I went for the upshift into 4, because I was trying to be as quick as I could, I thought I was going into 4th, and instead it went into 2nd gear. So I let off the clutch, engine RPMs shot up. I caught as quickly as I could. I never actually felt the car lunge forward, but checking the data logs later on showed that the RPMs for a fraction of a second touched 9,000 RPM. I was in S2000. I was at Honda's track, and the car wanted to be a Honda for a split second. Shot up to 9,000 RPM. My red line for reference is only 7,500. It was a fucking lot. So,
oh my god, that's fast.
Yeah,
that's a lot of RPM.
I immediately pulled off and idled fine. Actually, on the quote unquote cooldown lap to come back in, I was kind of giving the throttle a little bit, and it was still boosting just fine. Felt quick enough. So I was like, all right, I think this car's okay. Pulled into pits, let the car cool down, pull the spark plugs, borrowed a boroscope, look at the cylinders. Didn't seem like I couldn't tell. I didn't see any indication that the cylinders had kissed valves or spark plugs. So put it all back together, went back out, and finished the weekend. But it's in the back of my mind where, like, I may have lost 5 or 10 horsepower because of that. You never know.
Did your top speeds change from like the first session to the last session?
Well, no, I couldn't do a top speed because there's always someone in the way on session number 1.
Yeah,
this is literally
session 1 was horrible.
Yeah.
When did you go money shift?
This was coming out of the second lap
Of the first session?
of the first session.
Mm.
Out lap 1. Yeah, out lap.
Better,
lap
Nick.
1.
Jeez, first lap, first session.
I'm sorry, dude.
To be fair, that's easy to do it there.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're flying and you're taking a left, which inherently pushes your, body towards the left, and you'll go into second instead of fourth. So
I know you guys talked about street, but I want to shed light on Club TR as well here.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
So Club TR was an intense battle all freaking weekend. I will say though, the front wheel drive Hondas just have it. Like, there's no way we could have competed with them. That Evan McLaren and James Houghton were in their own league. Like, they were running low 34 laps. I think they even have a 33 if everything was right. Props to Evan McLaren. Big Dick Evan. I don't know what to tell you. Or what was it? Big badass motherfucker or bad motherfucker?
Yeah.
James Houghton said that. Yeah, dude, he is the biggest sandbagger I know right now. Because at the beginning of the season, he was like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to do. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. And then he just fucking wins 3 in a row. Literally, first place 3 in a row. And he is showing, like, some of it was luck, as we've mentioned. But this dude showed at Mid-Ohio that he can also drive. It's not just luck for him.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really proud of him for that. And aside for their 2 battles, right, which was really good to watch and interesting, the 3 GR86 battle here. So we had Peter Granberg in his own world, which I don't know where the heck he pulled his lap out of. The dude was like a tenth off of me, and then he just pulls the low 35 out of nowhere, and we're like, what the heck just happened? So props to him for that. He did a great job. After that, there's Jimmy Vidak, me, and Lyle are in our own battle here. All three GR86s, all three on FA24s. The only FA24 car. No, well, I guess the only FA24 cars in the top 10. No, Ian was in there too, actually, but we were so close the entire weekend. But yeah, so GR86s, right? I love that I've started this in a way. I've like I was one of the only people with a GR86 or a second gen last year and the past 2 years, and now we have really fast drivers in GR86s proving that this car is capable of podiums. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where it goes. Like, Mid Ohio is not the track for us. We're trying to figure out, like, I'm in a group chat with these guys, and we're trying to figure out how we can keep up with these K24 cars. But if I compared my data with Evan, just to see if like there's anything that I'm doing wrong, and he pulled half a second on me from turn 1 to turn 2. He pulled another half a second on me from turn 2 to China Beach, and then he pulled another half a second on me from turn 9 through through the Thunder Valley. He pulled a second and a half on me in just straightaways because he has that much more power, and he weighs that much lighter than I do, and there's nothing I can do about it.
What is the late? Sorry, late. What is the weight of his car versus yours?
I think he's about 150 pounds lighter than I am. I'm at 2750. I think he's at 2600 or 2650, something like that.
That does make a difference.
Uh, that's a whole person. That's if I had Peter in my car, or if we put Peter in Evan's car, it would be the same. It's like having a passenger, right? And as far as power goes, I think I'm making depending on dyno, it's between 220 to 230. Some of these cars at like I think James Houghton's car made like 260 at Mustang dyno. You know, like even if like Mustang dynos do read higher, I don't know what the rate is, but let's say 240 to be conservative at a dyno jet. There's no way. He's like 20 horsepower more than I am, and they're lighter.
I'm fairly certain Mustangs read lower than dyno jets.
One or the other, I can't remember, but
That's what it used to be, anyways.
yeah, I think
When
you're
I worked
right.
at a tuning shop, but
Don't remember, but I know his dyno reads high. I'm saying
now,
even if we put our cars on the same dyno, it's about
yeah,
a 10, 20 horsepower difference and a 150-pound difference.
that adds up real quick. Yeah, no, I get
Especially
what
at
you're
a track
saying.
that high on.
What is your car weigh, Nick?
With me in the car, it's 3,400 pounds with a full tank of gas.
So your car weighs 150 pounds less than mine.
No, it doesn't.
I
weigh
weigh
less than you?
35. I weigh 3550 with gas and myself in it.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Mid Ohio, Road America are not the tracks for GR86s. The equalizer
Uh-oh. We're losing Fez.
All right. Well, anyways,
All right, I'm
yeah.
back.
Oh, you're back. I really do think it was cool to see you in the two red BRZs that look GT86s that look identical. Like I can't tell one from the other.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
The two that I'm talking about are actually, one of them is blue and one of them is red. The two identical BRZs you're talking about, that's Dan Persing and Chris Snahill, both also relatively new drivers in the class. They competed last year too, but they built their cars to be exactly the same. They both are really good friends, and they work together, I think, as well.
Got it. Okay, so they're the same car. Like I could not tell the difference.
I can't tell them apart either. They
What
ran
colors?
37.
Wait, do they both say driven? Because there's a red.
The driven
8.6.
one is Lyle. That's the one that was right behind me.
Okay.
That one also looks the same though.
That's the one I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the two BRZs that have Moriza Motorsport stickers on them. They are my good customers as well.
No, we're talking about the red. The red.
The one red
8.6s.
with the big driven media sticker. Kevin Vo, his company, he's sponsoring this car. also a great company to support. But that was Lyle. Jimmy Vidak is in a blue GR86 with black headlights. He's in the light blue.
Is that the blue one that has the your Marisa Motorsports logo on the back bumper?
No, you're thinking about Ian.
Oh
This
my
is
god!
like a light
So many
blue Jimmy Vidak.
Jesus.
This is a second gen. Ian has a first gen. Get your shit together.
We need all
I'm
of y'all to put your
sorry.
numbers
I'm
on
sorry.
your bumper of the car so we know who we're coming up on.
It's a GR86. It's the only blue GR86 that was there.
Dude, from the rear, it's the same taillights as the BRZ.
It's not the same taillight.
Yeah, they do.
No, they're not. The first gen has ugly ass taillights.
Oh, the first gen. I was talking about the second gen.
Yeah, and there's only one second gen that's blue out there.
Okay, so why are there 2 red GR86s then?
There's one red GR86 and 2 red BRZs.
But the
Oh my
BRZ can
God.
be first gen or second gen.
Yes, second gen BRZs. There's
So
two
that's what we're
red
talking
second
about.
gen-
That's what we're
oh my
talking
fucking
about.
God. No, I just told you, Dan Persing and Chris Nahill were the 2 red second gen BRZs that have Marisa Motorsport stickers. The Driven Media red GR86, not a BRZ, GR86, that's Lyle Zara.
Okay, so there's 3 now.
There's I think there's 3 or more. Yes, there's 3 GR86s and BRZs. 2
See,
BRZs.
you don't
one
even
GR86.
know how many there were.
You're losing
because
track yourself.
There's
Yeah.
too many. There's a lot. And anyways,
Yeah, this is
Point
what we
is-
were struggling with because I'm like, who is this? Who is that? And they all look the same. They all have the same fucking Apex wheels and the same wing. And it's like, God damn it. And even the same stickers. So I'm like, I don't know who this is.
the point is, Lyle, Jimmy, and I had a great battle all weekend.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got very close to each other. I got pretty close to beating I got pretty close to beating Jimmy, but I went off, unfortunately. The car has potential. I think it's a consistent podium winner, just at the right track.
So,
Mid-Ohio is on the track for it.
so what makes it the right track versus the wrong track? Like, why is Mid-Ohio not the right track for a BRZ yet? I don't know. Autobahn is.
Mm-hmm. Power to weight. So wherever there's long straightaways, to me that's a front wheel drive cars are going to win because they have less drivetrain loss and they weigh lighter than us. Autobahn has one good straightaway, and over there your top speeds are like up limited to 110. So 110, 112 is what I was hitting. I think the front wheel drive cars were also hitting around the same, maybe like a mile or 2 more. But versus Mid Ohio, there's like a 10 mile per hour delta between me and Evan. So they have more time to make up. Autobahn is also like the GR86 handles better than maybe the front wheel drive Integris because it's a newer chassis. It's a better chassis, so it can make up some time in the corners. But in the straightaways, it's just going to be left for dead.
I didn't know your car was that slow. I thought you were all hyped up about it being, better than a K24, and now here you are telling me otherwise.
It can be better than a K24 swapped BRZ.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, and now
There's
the
more
excuses come out.
BRZs that are K24 swapped, and fuck them. That's right.
Oh my god.
JK, I love you, Peter.
So okay. So if this is if you're saying that this is actually plausible, does it apply to other vehicles as well, or is it just GR86s and BRZs?
What do you mean?
Other vehicles in Club TR?
Like other vehicles in Club TR, yeah.
What are the other vehicles in Club TR?
Well,
only
Peter's up there in 3rd place. He's in a BRZ, essentially the same chassis.
But he has a K24. That's what I'm saying. So I think the FA24, if you're talking about FA24 versus K24, the same
chassis.
Oh,
Oh man, we're losing Fez again.
Hello?
Oh, he's back.
Am I back?
All right, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
So in the same chassis, the K24 and FA24 are equivalent.
Like you don't have to swap
Oh dear.
the whole BRZ.
This podcast does not want him to talk.
No, clearly not.
They
Hello?
they like Integras.
Yeah,
they-
it's evident Jamestown being like, shut the fuck up, Fez.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Fez. Making shit up for excuses. Well, I'll finish up for what he was saying.
Okay.
I'll speak. I'll speak for Fez. What he's saying is
Podcast from my
he's created more excuses that allow him to feel better about himself.
I heard that, you bitch.
I'm just fucking with you. I get what you're saying though.
What I'm saying is the K24 and FA24 is equivalent if in the same chassis.
I hear you. I see, and I think I see that, and I think the numbers speak to that. They're very equivalent. You and Peter, same chassis but different engine, and put it down lap times that are half a second off of each other.
Yeah, I mean we've gone back and forth. We went back and forth all year last year, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's exciting times for this chassis. I think it has potential. It needs more development to be like maybe first place and really get to fight these front wheel drive cars.
What do you think it needs?
More power, but I don't know if it's possible.
Like manifold or anything you can do?
I already did all that, man.
Your intake manifold?
Yeah, intake manifold is already pretty free flowing, but if someone wanted to spend buku amounts of money and design a specific manifold for this car, which doesn't exist, they can, and maybe that'll be another 5 horsepower. I think where power, it's more like drivetrain loss that you could try to mitigate. Maybe getting like a lightweight flywheel, carbon drive shaft, and then like a 488 diff instead of the 43 or 41 that we have. Shorter gearing could help too, and it might help close the gap a little bit better more.
What about like a ram air? Can you cut a hole in your bumper that directs air straight into the filter?
It's already like pretty cold air intake at the moment from factory. Like the intake design is pretty efficient. But yeah, so that's kind of the update on Club TR.
If you could you make up for it if you were like a really like a grade A professional driver?
I don't think so.
You think you're currently a grade A professional driver?
So that's what I'm getting at. So you think there's no way you can make up for the deficiencies with your driving?
The best I can do when I looked at my data was a 34.9. Yeah, that's if I get every single corner perfect, I can do a 34.9, which is still 0.8 off of Evan and Jim.
Yeah, that's power.
Yeah. Would that be equal length headers worth of power?
Equal length header does help because Jimmy has equal length header, and I think he was up like 2 miles an hour on me in China Beach. So I was also told by my own tuner that equal length header is the move, and he recommended I go to an equal length header because it's an extra like 5 or 6 horsepower.
I could have told you that one, Squirt.
Yeah, I mean, I put on whatever header I had setting for my FRS. I was like, okay, it's an unequal length header that I bought for my FRS. I put this on there and it works. So I was like, all right, it's good enough.
And also back then, when you first started doing this, there weren't probably that many options out there.
There were options. I just didn't want to have my car sound like a Honda.
Hey, now,
it does sound pretty good.
Now. I actually prefer the sound of the Honda.
Yeah, you don't like the Subaru Rumble?
No. I like Subaru Rumbles. Don't get me wrong, but like I think and I'm not talking about BRZs, but like WRX STI 2-liter with an equal length header that revs to like 8,000 sounds really fucking good.
Yeah,
equal headers can sound good. Yeah,
it has to be the right combination of stuff, though. It's not like I'm sure your car would sound worse with it. I would agree.
Definitely. I have a straight pipe Tomei that's going to make it sound horrible.
I love Tomei though. Love Tomei exhaust.
But if it gets you that next half a second, might be worth it.
I think I'm going to do it this off season. I'm looking at getting the header and maybe a shorter final drive this off season.
Does anybody have that currently?
Header, yes. Shorter final drive than me? I don't think so. Not in Gridlife, at least.
You said you were getting into 6th gear, but on the back straight?
I am. So I'm in this awkward place where I'm having to go to 6th at Mid-Ohio. And I feel like if I'm going to go into 6th, I want to commit to 6th and be in a shorter final drive so I can actually have power in 6th. Because when I hit 6th, I am just down on power. Like I'm just lugging the car along.
Yeah, just be aware you'll be doing a lot more shifting as well.
I think the shifting would be about the same as my 4.3, but I would actually have more benefit.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. We're at about an hour. We had
You're
a
probably
great
hungry.
discussion. I'm hungry. I think you guys are tired. We're all hungry. So let's end
Final
this
thoughts?
podcast. Final thoughts. Eddy, final thoughts as a guest?
Final thoughts. I genuinely believe that you could actually find more speed with your driving.
Yes, my data proves that. My data proves that.
But yeah, no. I know, but what I'm saying is, but I don't think it's enough to overcome that deficiency in top speed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was part 1 of our podcast. Part 2, we're going to go into more detail on the rules of street class specifically and how they should be changed and potentially looked into more deeply, and why they should be looked into more deeply on the next episode of on the continuation of Mid-Ohio, and we can get into Road America as well. That podcast will be on Backseat Driver Podcast with Eddy and Devin. So if you're listening, feel free to join the next one.
Yeah, we'll make a social post so that way you can find their podcast and listen to part 2 and the future plans. Fez and I will be going off to Road America for our next events, and then Eddy and Devin will be heading off to Lime Rock.
Yeah, my car needs a much needed brake and some TLC. It's got a coolant leak somewhere, so I gotta figure that out.
I had a coolant leak too. I found one at Mid-Ohio. I fixed it when I had my bumper out for the coupler. It was just a hose. I just had time to clamp down.
I'm not sure what it is. I think it has to do with the water pump that was replaced before rev up. I think it just needs some RTV.
Get to it.
All right.
Thank you guys, everyone. Later.
Bye.